The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everybody.
Howdy, leg.
My name is Kiki Lovelace, and I am a Forrest Yoga Guardian and the director of Interstellar Pilates and Yoga Studio here in Berkeley, which is where Michelle and I are at.
I'm Michelle Cordero, and I am a senior Forrest Yoga teacher, and I'll be lead assistant for this training.
So I want to start out just giving you a little bit of frame around our discussion today. First point is for you to know that neither me nor Michelle can help you if you have any technical difficulties in the next hour of your life. And no one at forrestyoga.com can help you either. Normally, if there are technical difficulties with this, the best folks to talk to are the folks at gotowebinar.com. So if you go to their web page and click on support, you can talk to somebody live, or you can call them on their support phone number. If you have a pen and paper handy, it is 1-888-646-0014. So for the next few minutes, Michelle and I are going to talk to you about a few different points about the training that we feel are very important, like the basic course details, the benefits of the advanced teacher training, and also the teaching team roles, because there's lots of different roles in this training that are a little different from Forrest Yoga advanced trainings in the past. And then we'll also get into some nuts and bolts around moving about downtown Oakland and around getting settled and feeling welcome there. And then we'll make some time for Q&A. So if you have questions come up while we're speaking, just write them down. And then when we start the Q&A time, you'll be able to press a button on your control panel that is a raise your hand button. And Michelle and I will actually be able to click on that, and you'll be able to speak live into the camera. If you don't have a microphone on your device, you can also type in your questions, and we'll be able to read them as well. All right, so starting out with, I'm going to sit back here. Okay, starting out with the basic course details. I think, as most of you guys probably know, this course is happening in Oakland, and it's March 12th through the 20th, in about a month. And this is in a space that is off-site from Interstellar. It's a space that we've rented, and both Michelle and I have been there. It's a really beautiful room with lots of sunlight, really big windows, tons of wall space for inversions, and it's a nice warm space. So I think we'll be very comfortable in there. We want to talk to you guys about some of the benefits of the advanced teacher training, which both of us have taken as students, so we can really speak to this a lot. You want to talk about the morning asana section?
So every morning there is a 3.5-hour asana practice. And part of the process for learning to teach advanced poses, you have to learn to come into them and then be warm enough to do them, to support each other. So that's why the practice is that long. And it's an amazing opportunity. I mean, how often do you get consistently 9 days of practicing for 3.5 hours with some of your best friends and going deeper with people every single day, putting hands on every day, sweating, going deep, challenging yourself? It's an incredible experience. And, I left thinking, I'm going to have my 2-hour practice. I was going to bring it down and be, moderate with a 2-hour practice every day. Of course, life happens. That doesn't happen. This particular 9-day process of 3.5 hours is such a treasure, and one that I hold now. It's in my heart forever, having gone through this, having been through this process, and actually felt stronger than I had some fears coming into the program, like I'm not going to be strong enough. How am I going to partner with people and support them? Am I good enough to do that? Am I good enough to be supported? I had all of these crazy things coming through my brain. And one of my mantras was, I'm strong enough, I'm present, I'm breathing, feel your strength. And I kept coming back to that over and over again. And I found over the course of this training that I was stronger than I ever thought that I was. And I was able to go deeper and support other people in their process and realize that, it's such a gift to have 3.5 hours to practice like that. I mean, you won't get it again, to be honest. I mean, life happens, and who does that? Who sets you up for 3.5 hours to practice with people who can do amazing things and help you do amazing things? It's just a very unique week. So,
yeah, Michelle's talking about touching on the timetable a little bit, and I know that's been a question many of you guys have had. So we want to tell you the timetable. So we'll be coming together with the trainees, everyone. Of course, we will start very early in the morning at like 4 a.m., but you guys will come to the space at 8 a.m. to start your practice, and we'll have an hour of ceremony, and then this 3.5-hour asana practice that Michelle is talking about. And I want to add to that I remember as a student when I did this training in New York City in 2013, I remember once looking at the clock after the warm-up, and the warm-up took like 45 or 50 minutes, which to me is like heavenly. I really like spending a lot of time in warm-ups. So it's just so nice to be able to ease your body into these deep openings and to this like delicious warmth that you generate that is really unique to Forrest Yoga. The way we warm up and the way that we cultivate inner heat with Ujjayi is so remarkable. So you're working with that like sweat lodge yoga of the heat in the room, but also your internal heat and your internal focus. And it's so juicy. So we'll do that from 9 till 12:30. We will have a 2-hour lunch break from 12:30 to 2:30. And that's a good time for many of you guys who are living locally, staying in a hotel locally. You can go back to your home and take a shower and get some food. And we'll talk a little bit more about those of you guys who need to stay in the area, what you can do with your time. Then we come back together from 2:30 to around 6 or a little before then. And this is what I want to tell you about the afternoon sessions. One of the things I love about the advanced training afternoon sessions is that they really ask you to go to that looks within place. So you get lots of time to do guided writing processes, to connect to the voice of your own intuition and your spirit. Additionally, in the afternoon sessions, we also work with lots of teaching, building your teacher skills. So we do lots of hands-on assist clinics, and in case some of you guys don't know, in Forrest Yoga, this is like one of our treasures, is that we really work very skillfully with our hands and very mindfully with our hands when we touch our students. So we do hands-on assist clinics. We do what are called seeing and healing injury circles. Can you speak to those a little bit?
Sure. It's a great opportunity to begin or continue down the path of trusting yourself and your own inner wisdom. You learn to see someone, to really step back and take in all of who they are, both the physical presence in front of you and the energetic presence, and any way that you feel when you look at someone. You learn to address that and move into their field in a way that is supportive and loving and aware of the energy that's presented to you. And you learn to trust and put your hands where they need to go. And especially for those outside of the Forrest Yoga style, this can be really new. So you will be held and coached in doing this. And it's an amazing gift to bring back to your own students.
The manual for the advanced teacher training is chock full of information on what to do with your own injuries and when your students bring their injuries to you in class. And that's one of the things I really loved about the advanced training is going very deep into how can I support both my own injuries and those of my students. And so one of the teachers' skill building exercises that we do is called Healing Injury Circle. And it's where you put together your seeing skills that Michelle was just describing and your hands-on assist skills, and you actually work individually with another trainee. And you each have an opportunity to work as student and as teacher, working with each other's injuries. And if you're not working with any injuries, it's like you can work with an area that feels like a stuck spot, or an area perhaps that's holding some emotional holding or some stress. And you get a live experience. It's not like playtime or like, that's one thing about Forrest yoga trainings that I really love, and that I love about working with Anna, is that she makes every single moment real live time learning. So it's like one time I was doing a demo when I was on the assistant team of Warrior 2 in front of like 50 trainees. And she was literally teaching me how to do Warrior 2, which I've done a bazillion times in the last like 20 years of my life. And then when I came out, I whispered to her, wow, I really like how you teach me how to do Warrior 2. And she's like, yeah, it was fun teaching you. And that's really how it is anytime you work with Anna. It's like every single moment is a learning moment, and for her, a teaching moment. And she really teaches us how to bring that kind of sacred holding to what we are doing also with you guys as part of the teacher team. You'll also have some opportunities in the afternoon sessions to do some teaching. Like we do these round robin type of teaching exercises where each trainee gets, say, 10 minutes to teach, and you learn a lot about the Forrest yoga way of sequencing, which is very adaptable to other styles. I mean, you can use the principles of Forrest yoga sequencing in a vinyasa class or a hatha class, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant sequencing. It's very intelligent. It's very safe for folks with tweakies or injuries, and it brilliantly builds skillfulness towards learning how to do apex poses, peak poses, like the thrilling advanced poses, the arm balances and the back bends and such. So you'll do some sequencing exercises. You'll also have time to do some teaching in front of the teaching team, which includes me and Michelle and Colleen Millen, who's another Forrest yoga guardian and senior teacher who works here at Interstellar. And we will have the opportunity after that to give you some feedback. And the feedback circles in the Forrest yoga trainings are, I think, like my favorite part of training. I don't know about you guys, but I came from an environment where getting feedback was really scary for a long time. And I would kind of brace myself against it whenever anyone offered me feedback, even if I knew they loved me and could see my skills and my beauty. But the Forrest yoga feedback circles are this like magical web of learning where even when one of us is speaking to a specific trainee, you'll be listening as one of the other trainees, and you'll get this like deep gift of like, yes, I want to do that, or here's how I can do that in my own life. So it's like the feedback isn't just for you when we speak it to you. It's like when we speak to each person, it's for everyone in the group, the feedback. And the way that we give feedback in Forrest yoga, really our intent is to build your self-confidence, not tear you down, but to build your self-confidence and build your teaching skills in a way that is very palatable to you, that like feels like a tasty Dharma jazz. It's like something you really want to step into. You want to add to that at all, or is that sums it up?
Yeah.
And Michelle and I, we work in our own teacher training here at Interstellar, and I know that we both really love giving feedback and receiving feedback, which we give each other a lot in our own time. So I want to dive now into telling you a little bit about these different teaching team roles. And so far we have at least 5 folks on the teaching team right now. One of them, of course, is Anna, who will be the main facilitator of the entire teacher training. And of course, she's the creatrix of the teacher training as well. So and if you've never worked with Anna, it's such a gift to be able to spend time with her. She has an incredible way of seeing each person's beauty and speaking to you in a way where you get to see it too. It's like you get to see into your own gifts. We'll also be working with her partner, her husband, Jose, whose role is a small but important one. He'll be the main leader of the ceremonial aspect in the morning. So there's 1 hour of ceremony, which is really designed to help us all get into connecting to our spirits. And Jose is a musician and a performer, and he brings a lot of thought and care to the way he presents these ceremonies in the morning. So he'll be facilitating a lot of the ceremony for that 1 hour in the morning. And then the rest of us really take over at that point. My role as apprentice teacher is the apprentice teacher role in Forrest Yoga is really evolving. And my role will be much more active than it has been in the past, the apprentice teacher role. So I will be actually co-teaching some of the intensives and co-teaching with Anna, and sometimes even without Anna, some of the afternoon segments as well, and leading you through those segments. Michelle, do you want to speak to your role as lead assist?
Sure. I will be the program manager, per se. If there is a administrative or a facility issue, you come to me first. And then I will have my contacts within the building, the facility, to get whatever is needed. Say the heating goes off or a light goes off or, bathroom issue. You come to me first, I handle it. I will run all of the administration from, getting the manuals there to getting everybody checked in on time, as well as leading wrist stretches in the morning. And then Colleen and I will be a part of the teaching team holding space, doing hands-on assists, helping during the 3.5 hour practice.
And also during the afternoon teaching sessions. Right.
We'll be walking around, facilitating, offering feedback, whispering in your ear, try this, and supporting you energetically just by being there and knowing that we've all gone through this on many different levels in many different ways and incarnations. And we're here to help and make this the best training ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now moving into just some of the nuts and bolts of being in downtown Oakland. I recently read a little headline that I think it was USA Today described Oakland as the best food city in the United States. Mm-hmm. And it's really true. In where we live in Oakland, there are amazing restaurants and lots of great tasty food to eat. And a lot of it is central to downtown Oakland where the training is. So the training is, for those of you guys who are familiar with the East Bay, it's right literally like steps away from the 19th Street BART stop. So very easy to get to on public transportation. It's in a section of downtown Oakland, which is actually called the Uptown, which has been in the last 5 or 10 years very much developed. There's like a beautiful old theater and music venue there just a block away called the Fox Theater. There's lots of restaurants and coffee shops and parks and such like that where you can walk around very close within just a few blocks of the teacher training location. I know some of you guys are going to be driving from San Francisco, or maybe from, if you've rented an Airbnb somewhere else in Oakland, you'll be driving to downtown Oakland. So for those of you guys, once you sign up, in a couple of weeks, we're going to send all the folks who are signed up for the training Interstellar's Guide to Downtown Oakland. And this will include a list of pay-for-parking places, because we do recommend that you just park your car and leave it there, instead of running out and feeding the street meters in the middle of the intensive. You really won't want to do that because you won't want to miss a thing. So we're going to send you guys a list of places that you can park at and that are really close by, just within a block or a couple blocks distance from the location. I know some of you guys are planning on actually just staying around in downtown Oakland rather than going back home in that 2-hour lunch break. And so in that guide, we have also researched some places where you can go take a shower. There are a bunch of gyms that you can just pay a day rate and go use their facilities, including their showers. And some of them have like steam saunas or dry saunas. Although I don't know if you need to sweat more after a 3.5 hour asana practice.
You could go lift weights.
Yeah, exactly. And the space that we will be in, we're going to, of course, throw some fans on to air it out. But it is a space you could continue to hang out in if you wanted to do a shavasana nap in the room that we'll be in. That's totally fine and appropriate. And there's also a Whole Foods pretty close. Like you could ride your bike or walk. I would say it'd be probably easier to get a ride with another trainee if you don't have a car. But there's a Whole Foods really nearby to downtown Oakland. Yeah, and Lake Merritt, which is a beautiful lake that's very close. You can walk there during your lunch and just go sit on the grass or take a walk around the lake if you wanted to just get some fresh air. I think that's all I want to say about that. We're also sending to the folks that sign up our guide to like hotels, and we found some Airbnb rentals that look really tasty and that we feel like are close enough. And of course, here at Interstellar, we're completely available to answer your questions and help you out as best we can. So if you have questions about specifics like that, you can email info@interstellaryoga.com, and that's spelled with 2 N's, INNER. And likely you'll be hearing back from either me or from our general manager, Marissa Kelly. And Marissa is actually a very important person in this training too. You're going to see her pretty often in the training. Besides Michelle being program director, Marissa or someone else from my front desk team will always be there to help sign you in and get you situated, welcome you into the building every morning and afternoon. Make sure that you get your sign in so that you can get credit for being there the entire time and receive your completion certificate. So she'll be just one other person that you'll see each and every day. So right now we're going to switch modes here and move into some Q&A. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Let's see. So if you have questions, you can now press the button that says raise your hand, and I will do my darndest to unmute you so you can speak your question. Oh yeah, and Indira, hi my friend. Let me see if I can make you live. How does that work? That looks like it should work. Indira, my love, you are live.
Oh my goodness. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. So my question is, I'm excited. I'm totally excited. And my question is about fueling up before the morning session, because I'm so used to that early 6 a.m. start time where I was eating after session at 9 o'clock. Right. And now we have a later start time, which then makes me wonder, well, how do I eat in a way that sustains me, but not so much that when Anna says, get the roll, I want to vomit?
Yes.
Good question.
It is. Did you
Yeah,
fuel
absolutely.
Up?
I did. Indira, we started in my training, we started at 7. You're starting at 8. I found that I needed to eat. And I also, over the course of the 9 days, had to refine what I was eating, because there was one day where I was actually really hungry by the end, and actually during the end of the practice, I felt like I needed some more food. So the next day, personally, I figured out what worked for me, and you have to do that for yourself. Keep in mind that you're showing up at 8, there's an hour of ceremony, and then there's half an hour, I would say, of warm-up, pranayama. So you're not getting to the roll for like 2 hours, right? So think about that. Like, what does your body need, and what can you digest so that 2 hours in, you're arriving at 8, I'm thinking 10:15, maybe you're getting on the roll. Like, I mean, just to use that because you brought it up. I mean,
Obviously, you're doing abs in that time, so that could also be an issue. But what can your body digest and what will fuel you that an hour and a half guaranteed you're going to have time to digest? Would you agree with that? Yeah, absolutely. And I have some blood sugar, like I would just say issues in that I get really hangry if I don't eat enough. So I have to eat like very often in my life. Usually every 3 or maximum 4 hours. And I always eat breakfast. So what I did for the advanced training, which worked well for me, is I would make like a super nutrition packed smoothie. I did it with like coconut milk and I was doing some whey powder at the time and some fruit and stuff like that. And that, I just actually had that next to my mat. So I would sip it throughout the intensive, and that worked really well for me. I also, of course, had my like water, my coconut water and stuff like that. But yeah, having some protein and some fat to digest, even in a more digestible way, in the smoothie way, was what worked for me. And I'll probably, I mean, we'll have time to eat after we practice a little bit, but I'll probably even do that again because we're going to be together from 8 till 12:30. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Helpful to you?
Thank you. Yeah, that's helpful. I have to get creative, which is always interesting. But you're recommending that I do eat and not try to.
Yeah. You're getting up early.
Okay.
You'll get up like late as 6 a.m. and you're going to go until 12:30 and do a really long, intense practice. You need to fuel your body for that. Yeah. It's just a matter of finding things that are easy to digest for you. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Any other questions before I put you on mute?
Not yet, but if I think of something, I'll email.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, looks like Danny has a question. Is it Danny? Is that how I say your name? Hello?
Hey, here I am.
Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Sure.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Danny.
Good morning. So my question was just in hearing you guys talk about the practice. One, I'm a vinyasa teacher and have been for a few years now, and I'm completely blind to the whole Forrest method and everything. And Pete Winosa was the one that actually told me about it, and he was like, I think you'd really be interested in this. I'm working with a pretty gnarly shoulder injury right now, and the 3-hour practice sounds really not only intimidating, but a little bit scary, knowing that I can't do a lot of things right now. What would you guys suggest for that? And would I still be able to? I guess I was confused about the training, whether I was going to pick up new asana or just the method of Forrest, or what it was going to entail. And I think I got the nuts and bolts of that. I think I'm going to learn some pretty cool assists and some pretty cool asana as well. But my main concern right now is the injury that I'm working with.
Yes. This is one of our specialties in Forrest Yoga, is learning how to work with injuries. And I say work with because it's really more of an active process. And I came not to the advanced training, but I came to my foundation training years ago with a pretty serious injury to my pelvic floor. I had been in an Ashtanga class and I got this weird cyst, and I had actually pulled a muscle in my pelvic floor. So my whole pelvis and my leg was really sore and very painful. And it was a 28-day training or something like that. And I learned so much about this injury and about just working with injuries in general, like my attitude towards my body and towards my practice and how hard I had been being on myself. And I felt completely safe in nursing my injury during the intensives. I will say that this advanced training, I mean, you're with other teachers who have already been teaching for a while. And so
Right.
This particular asana practice is definitely a strong practice. We do every day, we do either like a bunch of arm balances or inversions or back bends. But in Forrest Yoga, this is kind of one of the great things about Forrest Yoga, is that you actually learn how to modify any pose for injuries. And this is part of the job. If I'm not teaching, then I'll be just like Michelle and Colleen, I'll be walking around doing assists and coaching. So you can flag one of us down. And when I'm teaching, Anna will be walking around doing assists. And so you can flag her down when I'm teaching.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I think you'll feel very supported. And my hope would be that you would walk away after 9 days feeling better in your shoulder, feeling more healed.
Okay.
I mean, it will take some definitely steadiness on your part, because the thing is, when you get in this group of people, I mean, you know Pete. If you know Pete, I'm sure you're going to know some other people in there too. And
Right.
it gets very exciting. Like, you really want to do these poses because everybody in there is like, we're all having so much fun. So it'll take a little
Which
bit.
is why I'm injured in the first place. Yeah, I should have backed down, and I totally got excited and re-injured it again. So
So here you go. Here's your like spirit lesson opportunity to learn how to be a part of the group and also to care for your own needs and really make a priority of your own care, because there's not one person in that room who won't support you
okay.
energetically. I mean, like, we all have been there and we all are very supportive of making healing choices. I mean, this is
Okay.
the thing that like hooked me in Forrest yoga, because I was a total diehard vinyasa person for a long time, and I still love my vinyasa practice. But
Mhm.
I also had a lot of injuries and a lot of pain. And when I found that I could be in a strong practice where it was safe and I was totally supported in making healing choices, it was a game changer for me.
Okay. Okay. Great. Perfect.
Thanks,
All
Dan.
right. Thank you.
Does anyone else have questions? Let me see if anybody wrote anything down. Oh, it looks like Deeb has a question. Okay. Yay. Hi, Deeb. Do you know Deeb?
I do.
Awesome. Hold on. Let me get Deeb live. Okay. Hi, Deeb. Hi, Deeb. Deeb, you might have to turn on your microphone if you have one on your device, because we can't hear you yet.
There you go.
We hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm so excited.
I'm
It's gonna be
excited.
awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Deeb is signed up, ready to go. You're signed up, Deeb?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Wow.
Got questions about the props and things like that when we come in? Should we bring our own or there is some in there?
Yeah, you should. If you have all those props, we really want you to bring them. So you'll want a second yoga mat to use as a rolled up mat. So you have your own sticky mat plus a second old mat, just something old that you have. And if you don't have something like this, we can pull some from Interstellar as well. But a second mat to roll up that we use for the abs and some back bends. You'll want
Okay.
a yoga strap. And you'll also want a block, and not a cork block or a wood block, but actually a foam block works really well in Forrest yoga, because
Okay.
sometimes we do some things where we hold the block between our ankles, and the heavier blocks are actually too much of a load on the low back. So you need a lightweight block
Okay.
for that. And that's pretty much it.
Padding for knees.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a little extra cushion for knees, like, bringing your own blanket or even like rolling up your sweatshirt could work. For my knees, I flip over my mat so that I have just one extra layer of mat, and that seems to work well. But yeah, I definitely recommend that you bring all those things yourself, because we do have a lot of props at Interstellar, but we don't have enough for all the trainees, and we need to keep some here for our regular students. So that would be great. And we'll make sure that we put that in an email to remind you guys too, like a little packing list type thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Deeb.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to meeting you soon.
Okay.
This is Kari. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please do, Kari.
Follow up on that one. Can we leave our props overnight at the studio, at the space?
Yes, we have access. We're the only people that have access to this room. Well, I shouldn't say access. Like the the folks who run it will come in and clean every night, but there's no other groups using the space that we'll be in. So I believe you'll be able to leave your stuff there. I mean, of course, I wouldn't leave any valuables, but your mats and your props and stuff could just be put up against the wall.
Great. So we bring them on day one and we use them all for 9 days and then take them home at the end.
I believe
that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, they are gonna clean, of course, every night. So we might have to just we're actually going over there later today, and we're gonna get just some more very specific details. So I'll make sure to double check that question, and maybe we might just have to do a little creative problem solving around where to store everybody's stuff so that they can sufficiently clean the space every night. But I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to leave your stuff. I mean, I know there's nobody else using that space.
Great, thank you.
Let's see. What's the triangle? Does it mean they bounced off? I don't know. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, well, I want you all to know we're going to end a little bit early today because it doesn't seem like there's any more questions. But I want you to know that we are very much available to talk to you about this. And specifically, you can email me if you have any questions or concerns, kiki@interstellaryoga.com. And like I said, if you have more like logistical information or questions, those are best directed to my staff at info@interstellaryoga.com or to Marissa, our manager directly, Marissa, Marisa, at interstellaryoga.com. And so those are some great resources for you. And, you know, like Michelle said, when we get into training time, she will be one of your number one. She's like the den mother of the training. Yeah. And so you can really come to her for any questions or concerns or needs that you have. We want to thank you guys for joining us live. And for those of you guys watching this or listening to this recording later, thank you for listening. And we very much look forward to being with you all in ceremony in a month. I can feel that we're already, I mean, even for the last month and a half, we've already been in the ceremony of this teacher training. And I really can't wait for it to happen. So thank you all so much. And we'll see you soon.